Hello, it's Chris Magnus from Street View Vagabond, and I have a first. I am on a radio program at Radio 1 FM out of Dunedin, New Zealand, where I got a chance to talk with Dave Borey and Kaitlyn Ratcliff on their midday show. And what I did is I bought lunch for Kaitlyn. So I found Burger and Beast in Dunedin and loved all of the names of the burgers. And one of them was the Vampire Burger, which is a crispy chicken sandwich with like garlic oil and jalapeno sauce. And I thought, I wonder what it would be like as if I ordered somebody at a radio station a meal at lunch, send it to them, and start the conversation. So that's what I did. I ordered a Vampire Burger for Kaitlyn. Dave went and picked it up. Apparently, it was right around the corner from the radio station, and we had a great conversation. So check this out; it's a lot of fun. This is going to be on their website for their podcast, and it was just tons of fun. So check it out.
That is the Radio 1 91 FM. It's the Nooner. You're joined by Dave
and Kaitlyn.
And here we are. And we are joined by a very, very special guest. This is a radio first. We're joined by Chris from Washington over in the States. How are you going, Chris?
I'm doing really well. Thanks so much for having me on. It's an
Thank you
honor.
so much. This is groundbreaking radio for us. You host a show, an online show that you present on YouTube called Street View Vagabond, where you use Google Maps to explore cities from all over the world. And you chose Dunedin recently. How did you find Dunedin? Like what drove you to coming all this far south?
Oh, it's a great question. Thanks so much. And I love getting off the beaten path, so to speak. And so for this one,
Yeah.
for month of March, I was actually researching Women's History Month, and I was looking at what's going on in terms of women's history in New Zealand. And I learned, which was new to me, that New Zealand was the first country in the world to actually have women. Women had fought for the right to vote, and the first nation in the world for that to happen. And I'm trying to pull up the name here, and I can't find it. And I had it all set up beforehand. But also, the very first woman to be a lawyer went through the University of Otago, and I think her name was
That's
Elizabeth.
right.
Elizabeth, is that her name? I'll find it.
I
do have it.
I the name has escaped me, but this is a fact that I heard last month in March quite a lot, and I just didn't retain the information that I should have.
Kate Shepherd?
I think
that's the woman to vote.
That's the one to vote. Yeah, Kate Shepherd is on the $10 bill in New Zealand as well.
This is it's escaping. I literally had the window open, so I'm on my desktop over here. This whole day has been like fraught with technical difficulties here, but this is a first for me too. I've never been on live radio.
It's amazing.
around the world.
Chris is for the listeners. Chris has been up. It's 9:30 at night where he is, so it's amazing that we really appreciate the effort that you put into this.
Ethel Benjamin. Ethel Benjamin.
Ethel Benjamin. Oh, yeah, of course.
Right.
There's an Ethel Benjamin place just one block from the studio.
Yeah.
Really? What do they serve? Or what is it?
Oh no, like as in a street. It's like a cul-de-sac.
Oh, okay.
They serve flats that are like uninsulated and damp.
Serve parking tickets if you're not careful. Right?
Yeah, lots of parking tickets. So how did you get this? How did you get your show started? Like, what was the inspiration from? How long have you been doing it?
Well, it's not technically a show, so it's really my kind of like social media project. So I've been a geography teacher in DC for years and always loved just getting to know the world. And it's one of those things that's just like, there's so many fascinating places around the world. And we have all of these like repeated tropes, like all these movies coming out about New York and Paris. And there's like all these amazing places around the world that we can explore. And so when Google Street View came around, I was just amazed. And this shows like, my social life. I would spend the night just going, what's this neighborhood in Tokyo like? And I would drop down and just look around and be like, oh, that's cool. And then, okay, what's going on in Mongolia? And so I just explore the world. And then I really started ramping it up when I started making connections with people in terms of reaching out, because it really started a few years ago when I was like, all right, I want to see what I can find in this place in Uruguay. And it was this little town. And randomly they had these amazing concrete statues in front of their house, and I was like, this is like a folk art gem. And there was a bakery across the street, so I went on Facebook and tried to like talk to the people. I was like, can you let me talk to the person across the street? I want to ask them about their statues, right? and like radio silence, right? Like no response.
man.
And first of all, here's this random dude in Washington D.C. asking, "Can I talk to your neighbor?" And it's like it's borderline completely creepy. Like,
Yeah.
why are you looking at my house from thousands of miles away? Which I totally get, and I'm totally sensitive to that. But it's
Yeah.
also amazing. Like, look at us. Like, we are talking to each other. You're in New Zealand. I'm in DC. We've never met each other, and now it's just like it's fun,
It's
right?
amazing.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And the email thread that started it all was from today, where what was it, like free vampire burger or something?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was the only reason Kaitlyn came into the show today.
Awesome.
Otherwise, I would have been at home.
But
Oh, right.
so for the listeners, Chris said he wanted to have a yarn with us, and he's shouting one of our DJs lunch from the wonderful Burger and Beast on George Street, which is one of the One Card sponsors, which is very fortuitous that you chose them, Chris. So do you mind just running us through what order you got for Kaitlyn here?
I got her the vampire burger, which apparently is chicken for the likes of me where I'm coming from. It's called a chicken sandwich, but a burger, it's a chicken burger, vampire. And I was so intrigued by it because it's got garlic sauce and jalapenos. I like spicy stuff. Never seen that before. And I love the menu. So one of the things I love doing is finding the funny finds around towns. And there's so many funny finds. And so for sorry, I'm gonna say it wrong, but Dunedin, is that how you say it?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
My first video of just I call unboxing, where I literally get on. It's totally uncensored. It's not. Well, I guess it's uncensored, but it's also unedited. And so I just get on sometimes with a friend, and we just scroll around on Street View and look at the place. So I think the whole time I was calling it Dunedin. I think that's what I was calling it, Dunedin. But anyway,
we get it all. We get Otago, Dunedin, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. We're just happy to be on the map.
I was floored by the menu because I was like, wow, they've got like a vampire, a beast, a devil. I was like, this is really cool. So anyway, I thought, it's an interesting place. And one of the things I do is I always start with a radio station because I feel like, Street View gives you that opportunity to see a place around the world. But like listening to live radio gives you kind of a flavor of that place. You get to listen to like what's for sale, what's being, what's the festival that's coming up, all that kind of a thing. And then plus music, all these great musicians that like I may never have heard of. So like, every day for the past like 6 weeks, I get up in the morning, I grab a radio station, log 20 songs from that radio station on Shazam and put a Spotify playlist together just to keep the record going for me.
I love it. You chose a great city with Dunedin too, because so in the 80s it was like an explosion of sound coming out. It's called the Dunedin Sound. It's known as the Dunedin Sound. It'd actually be a really interesting thing to read up on. But there's so many really formative bands from Dunedin in the 80s that are influencing music even today. So even though Dunedin's quite a small city, both on a New Zealand scale, but also an international scale, we punch well above our weight in terms of the quality of music that we put out. It's actually awesome. You chose the right station.
That's awesome. No, I definitely will look it up. And I liken this whole project to being like traveling the world while at home. So like, and now we can do that, right? Like I can listen to Radio 1 from Dunedin here at home and just jam out, right? I can do that.
It's awesome.
I can't eat the vampire burger, but I can send it to you, right?
We're so thankful for it. Thank you so much. Shall we do the unboxing of the vampire burger now?
I'm not gonna lie, Chris. I'm so nervous. I did read up on the burger. I am not a lady that can handle spice very well, so the sweat will be dripping. It'll be gross, but it'll be enjoyable. Good content for radio.
Yeah, good content. So, talk us through what's your initial thoughts, Kaitlyn?
Can you put it on the camera too? I want to see it.
Oh yeah, I'll give you a little sneak peek. There we go.
All right.
A lovely meal. So it's quite crispy, which is nice for chicken. It'll make a good crunch that we're not gonna.
No, we'll go the full ASMR. It's coming in a cardboard box, half chips, half of it is the chicken sandwich, as we call it over in Washington DC. Shall you take that first exploratory bite?
Yes. I shall.
Right, it's very full.
I'm so scared.
That is a
looks so
handful.
good.
That is a handful. And I got you
I
a small
know.
version too.
Yeah,
think.
look at that.
Look at that.
Look,
All right,
this
here we
is-
go. It looks like two chicken breasts or something fried.
Golly, it looks spicy. Okay,
It
don't
looks good. That's all I can say.
diss the crunch.
I wish we could pull out of it. That was good. Kaitlyn's chewing. She seems to be holding it together, which is good. But
I don't really
No
want to talk
tears.
with my mouth full
No,
because
that's fair.
but you know.
Makes for great radio,
Oh,
right?
there's a spice. No,
There it is.
Yeah,
it's
it's
coming
there.
in.
oh my goodness,
coming in.
amazing. What are the initial thoughts?
It's actually quite delicious. Oh, there's more spice.
Oh my goodness.
Great crunch. Lovely
Right.
texture. The bun is really nice and fresh, which I appreciate. That's what makes a good burger.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
The jalapeno is strong, but not as strong as I thought it was going to be. So I'm stoked about that.
Jalapeno, they
Right.
can be they can go either way, I find. Like you
Yeah.
can get really strong ones. Sometimes at Subway it'll just
Yeah, Burger and
Rock your
Beast have
mouth.
done me quite well today, I must admit.
wow. Burger and Beast must be so stoked that they didn't even know they were getting this free
getting free
advertising.
we've just surprised her.
Send them the invoice, Chris.
Well, I tell you what, I figure this is my entree into not sounding like a scammer. I'm being like, I'll buy you lunch. I'll buy, and I have reached out to so many people all over the world, and I get like completely no responses. But it's like cold calling, right? It's like sales. But, like,
Absolutely.
now that
When it
kind
works,
of-
it works.
when it works, exactly. It's amazing, and you can have.
It would-
some
I would-
conversations.
I would love to have this as a regular segment. Not you shouting lunch all the time, but just like you updating us on what the newest city that you've taken a look at
Yeah.
would be. I think it would fit right into the radio
Yeah,
playlist.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to use this footage to be like, look, I'm not a total creep. Like
This is a legit radio station, and they had me
this
on.
is it. I tell you what though, this is super exciting. This is actually the first time I've ever been on live radio. So it's
Oh
just
my
like-
goodness!
wow.
Wait, you've
So,
done so well, Chris.
I'm
let
gonna,
me
I'm
say.
gonna I'm gonna tell my kids, I'm really big in New Zealand now, so
Yeah, I'm massive.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, you stay on the line because we'll chat to you after this. We should
Okay,
get
sweet.
into some more music. But thank you so much for joining us here on Radio 1.
Yeah, and for my free lunch. How amazing.
There you go.
That is Chris from Street View Vagabond. You can check it out on YouTube. It's a social media experience, and it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, Kaitlyn.
Thank you.
And thank you, listeners of Radio 1. Here is Baker's Eddie with Hiver's Baby. You're listening to 91 FM.